And I do want to say, as far as housekeeping goes, I did hear from Councilwoman Katadi. I was aware of her situation. Councilman Brown beat me to it, but it's okay. She is with her family, and she asked if she could not attend. I told her very strongly, please do not attend and spend time with her family. She did want to be here with us this evening. Having said that, we will start with the question. And we will just go down the line, each candidate, and we'll try to alternate who starts answering each question, but it will be at my discretion. The first question will be directed to all of you. One other thing I want to state, each one of these questions came from folks all over the city of Durham, which is a beautiful thing. And whenever possible, I'm going to say the person's name that it came from, just their first name. Most of the questions came from the internet. We had questions that came from all walks of life. So I think that will be representative in the questions that we get tonight. This question is from Garrett. How do you intend to remedy the current uneven and inadequate state of neighborhood planning in Durham? How will you ensure that the city and county's actions abide by neighborhood plans? Will you work to expand local historic districts in Durham? I'll start with you, Mr. Ali.
1 minute? That was 3 questions, bro. I think I've got to answer in totality because it was 3 questions, and so I just want to make sure we address it. I think that the city of Durham has an opportunity to take some of the neighborhood plans and put them together into a strategic plan. Excuse me. I'm not sure all the communities have put forth a plan to be accepted by City Council or through its Office of Economic and Workforce Development, or community development, or whichever department this would go through. So I think each community should put together a plan, if it's a plan around history, or being historic, or about development, and providing services, the city services, mainly around infrastructure. So I would say that it would be critically important that the city put forth its efforts to ask for the communities, formally and informally, to come together, and let's have a plan so the city can see what is going to be required to make sure those neighborhoods can get what they're asking for, and to put forth a plan and a timeline to execute that.
Time. Mr. Brown.
Thank you. I live in a 100-year-old house in a historic neighborhood, Trinity Park. The opportunities are there.
You can take it off the stand.
The opportunities are there for neighborhoods to come to us in our overlay planning to set up historic districts. I'm a former president of the Historic Preservation Society, Durham. I've always encouraged neighborhoods to do that, including the most recent neighborhood that's applied, and that's the Cleveland Holloway Street neighborhood. But again, it must come from the neighborhoods. I do not think that the city has been an obstacle to that, because when such neighborhoods are established, it is a boon to all of Durham, and not just to that neighborhood.
Time. Mr. Harris.
Yes, there again is one of my concerns is communication. The communication between the neighborhoods, the communities, and the city agency, in this case, the Neighborhood Improvement Services, and also a carry with the Historical Preservation Society. If we all sit down to the table and put our cards on the table, we can come up with an acceptable solution to all parties. Too often, A doesn't know what B is doing, and so we have conflicts in the middle. But again, improving communications could help resolve some of the issues we have along those lines.
We do have a UDO, Uniform Development Ordinance, in place for both city and county planning. I think that's where the two governments do work collaboratively, pardon me. And with that, with the other organizations, I think it's, I was talking to Mr. McKissick this evening about how this neighborhood, this church got preserved, but it took a lot of folks working to make sure that it wasn't demolished as so many houses were around it. And these are historical significance. And I think we have agencies in place, but again, as my fellow candidates here, collaborators as well, if you will, I think they have to communicate. We can follow that, but certainly you have your different arenas with this historic, whether it's a special, unique application for serving citizens in a specific type of activity. So I think that we do have an ordinance in place. I think we need to follow that as best we can, but assure that you don't have monies put into one area that's millions and millions of dollars, and right this across the street you have a blighted, socioeconomically depressed area.
Ms. Peters.
Can you use that?
When I, can you start me over, please?
Go ahead.
One of the things I think the city needs to do is have an economic development commission. Many of our folks in some of these communities, they do not have the skills and the training to go out and do an economic development plan. Those persons who do have the skills, they can go down to the city and ask for $10 million or $6 million for their various projects. Many folks in Northeast Central Durham and other parts of Durham, they are unable to do that. But if we had an economic development commission, that those folks, those individuals would come from all parts of Durham, would come together. Like, for instance, we have a 10-year homeless plan in Durham to try to remove homelessness. Well, why not have an economic development plan for the whole Durham community? And I think that's one of the things that Durham really needs. If we had an economic development commission, also that commission could make recommendations. Persons could come to that commission to apply for funds, to really help lift. I live on the other side of Austin Avenue.
Mr. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, I agree to what two of my colleagues said about this Durham. But let me add a little more to this. I must read to you that we have 4 districts. In these 4 districts, we have our wants and our needs. And I must say to you, these areas represent the best of what makes our city special. Diversity, family, pride, unity, confidence, strength, because our city has the root of history. We have had historical buildings here in the city of Durham, but if you look around, we do not have them anymore because development comes in and want to destroy the side that historical has been built on, and now we don't see it anymore. We still have